Thank you so much for coming back on to the Soul Awakening podcast show, Amy. I'm so excited to have you on today.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm really happy to be here.
So this is one of I'm really excited to have this interview start just because I've watched a lot of your videos, including the Council of Light where you channel them, and some of their messages are just so ahead of their time and also so informative. And I think that this can really be such an amazing way to wake up a lot of people to a different reality, literally, that exists simultaneously. So thank you for coming on. And just to get people who have never heard of channeling before, what exactly is the channeling that you're going to be doing, and who are the Council of Light?
Okay, yeah, thank you. So I started working with the Council of Light kind of unknowingly. I know so much more about them now, of course, than when we first started working together. And when I started working with them, I was relating to them as if they were my spirit guides, which they are, but I didn't have a full awareness of the extent of it. And that was around 2011 when I started having a direct connection with them through visions and some past life regression work. And then they just started coming through with all the different clair senses. But I mostly worked with them at that time as an energy therapist, so a practitioner in different modalities of energy work, where they would come in and work through my body and move my hands around and work with the clients. And then it was a few years ago that I was introduced to the concept of physical mediumship or trance channeling. And I sat with that for a little while, had some questions answered. I really wanted to know a bit more before I just jumped into it. But when I decided to make the transition, it came very naturally and quite quickly. In fact, I went to Sedona and took a class, and that very day I started channeling in this way. And it's just progressed every time I connect in. My my responsibility and what I work towards as a channel is to step away and not interrupt and just let the information come through, because I was finding at the beginning I had so many questions, and so it would kind of stop the flow. But it was also nice looking back. It was more conversational between myself and them in the original videos, and they're on YouTube if anybody's interested. Most of them are still up. But so what happened was I learned a little bit more about what it would be like and what it entails to become a physical medium or a physical channel. And there's a process where I leave the body at a certain level and pop out. I typically kind of stand back to the left side of my body, and I'm just listening and observing, and I'm a part of the experience. However, I'm in a higher frequency out of the body, so most of the times when I come back in, I don't have a full recollection of the conversation. So I love to go back and watch. But also, even at that, it's sometimes like coming out of a dream where you can remember bits and pieces, and maybe even 5 or 6 months down the road, I won't remember so much of it then. So that's kind of my experience and process with channeling, and how it all begins, and when I'm in it, where I'm at. And the Council of Light, they are my team. It's my spirit team. So I don't refer to them as guardian angels, but some people might. They're not really from the angelic realms. They're more interdimensional or extra dimensional, I guess you would say. Some would call them ETs. They're star beings, and it's a collective of, it started as a collective of 12 star beings. That's my council, and it's expanded. So there are more that come in and will bring messages and work as a collective frequency. And sometimes when I channel them, you can tell that it's a different spokesperson coming through, but typically there is a spokesperson that comes through. Jeremiah is the name that he gave in a past interview, and their voice sounds different. So they have a slight accent, which I don't can't really place it. All I can say is it's a softer, more fluid way of speech. It's different than English that can be harsh sometimes. And they typically will use words that I don't usually use. And in fact, many times I've had to look up the words because I'm like, oh, okay, what does that mean? and sometimes, especially when I was channeling, I channeled a book with them, Activating the Starseed, and when that book was channeled, I remember looking up words, and it would always be the last definition that fit the paragraph or sentence. So yeah, they're my team. They've been with me for a very long time. When I started working with them, it felt very natural, very loving, and as they come into my body more and more, I get recharged. I feel amazing during and after, and there is so much love, and I feel so much protection in my energetic field when they come in.
Mm-hmm. And I'll ask them when they come in, but they're definitely not from this galaxy, right?
I don't. Again, you're gonna find that it's so funny. Probably not. I know some of them are, they've spoken about my origins as being part Pleiadian, part Andromedan, or Andromedian, and they, so it'll be really interesting for you to ask them, because I do feel a collective frequency. I do know that the first members that have been with me my whole life, 12 in the council, are all from different star races. And so it'll be interesting to see where maybe there's a majority of the collective where they're from, or, you know, that kind of a thing. But yeah, go ahead and ask them, because I'm a little curious as well.
Okay, sounds good. I'm actually a little starstruck, literally, so I'm very excited for this. Yeah, I'm very excited. So we have a really long list of questions, but I think it's very possible to get through all of them. These are questions that I've always had, just spiritually, and also since really my awakening, and I feel like they are the perfect beings to answer them. So
wonderful. Well, thanks. I also like to say I work really closely with the Archangel realm, especially Archangel Metatron and Jeremiel. Typically working with clients, but they're going to be around, so you might even feel a frequency. If anybody listening works with the archangels, they might sense a vibration of that. And in the process of connecting in, it just takes me a minute. I have to regulate my energy body, and then we do a switch where they come in and I leave. So yeah, so I'm excited.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Okay, all right, so we're ready? Okay, all right, so one moment. So also, for those that might be watching the video, you'll see that I move, and it's just because there's so much energy that my body is attuning to the frequency, and sometimes I have to move to work it through the physical body. So I'm just connecting now. Yes, we are here, and greetings, dear ones. It is very joyful for us to be here and to make your acquaintance and to be a part of this astute conversation today. You see, we have been anticipating this moment. We have been waiting for quite some time from prior to the aspect in time where you did invite our dear friend here to be a part of your radio show, your podcast. So this, you may say, was written in the stars, as it were, and we are very delighted to be here and to make your acquaintance in the physical realm in such a manner. And we would like to begin just answering and having a conversation around the questionings of your heart and your mind and your soul and your spirit. So what questions might you have for us today?
Thank you very, very much for coming on to the show. Thank you. So my first question for listeners they've never heard from you before, who exactly are you and where do you all come from?
Very good question. This is one that mankind would, of course, be wondering and pondering on. You see, we span many interdimensional galaxies, many frequency bands. We have expanded to a level of the Council of Light where there are many through different star systems, different star clusters and pods, or families who would send a spokesperson, as it were, a captain, if you would call, from their resonating frequency, from their group, if you were to say. They come and they work with us. Many come telepathically, transmitting, like you made to say, radio waves. We do communicate in such a way where we are a focal point, we are the headquarters, if it were, we are the station that can delineate information, delegate action, and receive conversation. For our partner here, there are 12 of us beings who are members of her star craft, if it were, and we have some from the Pleiades, we have some from the Arcturian, the Orion, the Lyrian star systems, and more, you see. And she resonates more with the Orion frequencies, the Palladian frequencies, and the Arcturian and the Andromedan frequencies. And she is saying, oh wow, this is very interesting. There are many aspects here that are news to her, and we are saying this because she is working more and more with these frequencies, reclaiming soul vibrations and patternings, the frequency from the past or parallel spaces in time, as she advances forward in her life path and mission, as it were, with all star beings who advance forward in their life path and mission. They are reclaiming the fullness of who they are. They are integrating the aspects through time and space. As you are ascending to the fifth dimension, you become more acquainted with all and who you are from many timelines, as it were. Time disintegrates, it becomes a new reality, a new perception, and a new perspective. Many are experiencing this already. It is trying, as they are not fully understanding what is occurring in their realities. But she is very fortunate to have a team, and because of this gratitude in her heart, she is very grateful and wanting and volunteering to assist others in such a way to help them hold the light and frequency in their physical body, in their being, and assisting them through their trials and the upheavals in their ascension process, so that then they might transmit out a new frequency of light and encoded frequencies from the star realms, and also manually through conversation and techniques in the physical, you will say, understanding. Then they will then assist others, and it will be a rippling effect, as it were, where many star beings will naturally integrate with their soul frequency, upgrade their DNA codes, and become more and more in connection with their team in spirit, as it were.
Thank you. So my first question is, why is Earth's ascension so important galactically and interdimensionally?
Very good questions. Yes, we shall begin with galactically. Everything that occurs and everything that happens, there is an interconnected frequency, like a wavelength of light. We are showing the channel like a grid, like a web of light that goes out. All stars, all levels of dimension and creation are connected, and all are ascending, all are moving through their levels of experience, you see. But the Earth is ready. She has been for quite some time. Our dear mother and friend in spirit, Gaia, is ready. She has been ready to move and to ascend into the fifth of reality. But you see, she's there already, and mankind is now catching up, if it were. So in your experience, you may say she is still in the third density, the fourth dimension. However, she is actually waiting. She has pushed forward through time and is there waiting and going back in time from her space to collect her inheritance, which would be those beautiful beings who are incorporating a physical body in her realm, we will call it. So what occurs here on your planet has a lot of effect upon time and space and the cosmic realities, the universes, as it were, and parallel experiences as well. what is occurring here on your planet is more than just what meets your eye in the physical dimension. In the third density you see, there are beings who live in the earth. There are beings who live around the earth and a bit above the earth. There are many parallel realities, we will call them. If you were here at a focal point and you expand out through all dimensions of creation, you would see that there are many different frequency bands. And here you have the human that is expanding into the fifth dimensional frequency, and one might say the fourth density if it were. But there are already beings living in the earth who are resonating at the 12th dimension, and she just came in connection with one of the activators of the Telos nation there at Mount Shasta a few weeks ago, and that was a beautiful experience for her as well, because she had always heard of their existence, if it were, but to have a one-on-one connection where she was seeing with her physical and her spiritual eyes, and also communicating in a way that a one-on-one connection has solidified the awareness and understanding that there is more as far as those who would integrate and incorporate here on earth. There are more than the humans, and they are all working together in tandem from their stations in the skies or their stations in nature or in the earth or as human here on the surface of your planet.
Thank you. And Earth's ascension, does it affect parallel universes, or are those completely separate?
It does, all is connected, but you see, if some were not ready or willing or able to ascend in the same universe, parallel, you shall say, your lifetime, your point in time, they could slip into another timeline, as it were, another timeline. And so in that way, it does affect, it creates a shift in both. But it is a slipping and a passing of time that is elusive for the human form. As you understand time, some experiences when you are in a manifestation, creation mode, when you are in meditation mode, you may look at your physical clock and see that only an hour has gone by, and it may feel 5 minutes or 5 hours, you see. So time is elusive in that way, and they will be slipping into another timeline. And over the course of time, over a period of action of many Earth years, you might look back at those in your life and have noticed that you no longer have a connection with some, or you have forgotten them completely. And if you were to look back, we are giving an example when the channel looks back in her high school yearbooks. There are many who she does not remember ever existing, because she is in a new frequency, most astutely a new frequency than where she was at that space and time. And many of those colleagues of hers, those fellow students, are not in the timeline she is in now, you see. And there are little experiences like this, a few discrepancies where the mind does not match up with some of the physical documentations, as it were. But it does affect, but in a beautiful way. You all are in your appropriate space and station. We love to stress this because there are many who are very hard on themselves and beating themselves up. And we are saying, if you have these conscious conversations with your team and your own spirit, if you are questioning if you are in the right space and time, we are saying you are further advanced than many, and you are in the right space and time. Let this be a joyful synchronicity, a validation, a confirmation for you, and continue following the inner calling of your heart and where it is leading. We say there is much to be said for co-creating, having a conscious choice and acting upon it, being led and being guided, and taking responsibility for the direction in which you would love to vibrate in, as it were. So does this answer your question?
Yes. Thank you. So can you speak about the grand experiment on Earth?
We are remembering that you brought this up to our partner, and she was very much not knowing what this meant. So one moment, let us relate to your question from our space and stations in the skies. One moment. From our understanding, the grand experience was the inhabitation of a new form of life and creation on the earth plane, on the physical body. There are many beings and many prototypes, we are calling them, many aspects of the human form that were seeded here on Gaia. Many millions of years ago, as it were, eons, we shall say. There have been upgrades, there have been races and civilizations released off of the earth, and some have ascended consciously, and some have been taken by force of nature, as it were, civilizations wiped out. And this was because in these experiences, they were doing some testing and calibrations and integrations with the physical form. And you will understand this. Your archaeologists have discovered many humanoid artifacts, many humanoid bodies frozen from time that look different, and you already understand the different races of the human body, and these are different prototypes. So we were creating the earth and the earth experience in a tandem co-creation with Source, you may say with God, with Gaia, and many intergalactic beings, that we might create a new space, a beautiful place for humans, for souls to have an experience upon. We create always, we have created many experiences, places that are physical or more energetic in nature. But this was a grand experience because many star beings came together and working in tandem with the Archangel realm and the higher consciousness, higher planes of creation. This was a beautiful collaborative experience, and it is doing very well indeed. We knew from the beginning that due to the contrasting vibration and the resonating frequency of the planet, that there would be much trials and tribulations and warrings and all things that would feel heavy and contrasting to the physical body and to the spirit you see. It is a very interesting experience to come onto the earth plane, and even for us to merge with the physical body feels very different, as it were, than if we were to be up in our star crafts and our stations in the skies. But it is an honor, it is a joy, it is a delight, it is like a badge of honor to have said that you experienced a life on earth, because there are not many bodies for all of the beings that could potentially inhabit the earth. And we do speak of this in messages from the councils. There's a book you see where some spirits come in as a merging or a taking over of a body, and they are working outside of a code of light, we'll call it. They are not working in the highest alignment. So it has been a challenge for many in the physical body, especially as you are ascending, because your light bodies are activating, you are lightening and popping out of the physical body more and more. So as you are popping in and out, be very aware of your energetic state of being, your emotions and your thoughts. And if you are feeling that you are going on a trajectory that is not so much your own, do releasement exercises. These are cleansing meditations to acquire and to obtain full compatibility and full authority of your physical body, we are saying. But the grand experience is one that is continuing, and it will continue until Gaia has fully ascended from the 5th into the 12th dimension. So it is a beautiful experience as Earth is ascending and bringing her partners, whom are the earthlings, with her and nature with her. Through every ascension step, it is becoming a more peaceful and joyful process. And many will say peaceful. We are not seeing that in our reality. And we are saying to you that corruption, That greed and that heavy contrasting vibration was always there. Your light is bringing it to the surface to be acknowledged and to be called out and be transmuted. So do not to be in fear when you see these new occurrences in your world and in the news. It is the darkness surfacing to be released. It is a conscious co-creation for the humankind to see these acts, these despicable acts, as if they were these despicable acts, and to address them. There is no more sleeping. All are aware, all are awake, you see. And does this make a sense to you, dear one?
Yes, thank you. Talking about ascension, will all beings on Gaia ascend? And if there are those that don't, will they be moved or have to transition, meaning pass over?
We are understanding your questioning. We will answer it in maybe a different way, but then elaborate upon it, you see. All have a choice. All have a desire. If they do not have a desire, they will not be overtaken and forced to ascend, you see. Some are very happy and very comfortable living the status quo, living a very relaxed, easy peasy, as our partner calls it, life and experience, you see. They will not be forced. They will be in a perfect alignment, in a perfect timeline for them. As the earth begins to split, they will still be upon an earth in a parallel experience. They will be protected, all will be well, individually we'll say. The experience as a collective will be different than the experience of the collective who are ascending to the fifth dimension, you see. And thus over time it may, from your perspective, it may fade away. But all are eternal. The souls are protected. They are guided. They will come and incarnate back into whichever timeline is most appropriate for their experience. Some in the spiritual plane can hop timelines by doing the inner work and the karmic clearing at the soul level before they come in. This is a very advanced, perhaps controversial topic. It is not the one that we are aware of being spoken of much upon your earth plane, you see. But this can be the case. This can be occurring. And all are afforded the opportunity to rise up in their frequency, to claim their inheritance, which is a life of joy, conscious creation, abundance and beauty, unity and health. All are afforded that. It is their intention, their responsibility, and their inner calling and desires that will ascertain, that will regulate, that will oversee this opportunity for them, if they are reaching up for it or not. Do you understand? All are protected and safe at the soul level. They are where they need to be. And over time, perhaps if they are not ready now, they will be ready in the future. And all can come together. There is no appropriate, shall we say, there is no direct one-fits-all path for everybody. So there is not one appropriate path for everybody. The appropriate path is individual to that to human and that to soul and that to spirit. So some may advance more quickly, some may take a twist and a turn, some may pause, but they all are afforded the opportunity to arise in their ascension of the energetic body, to activate the codes, to repattern the physical DNA, the cellular structure of the physical body, and reside at a space together in the future that is an ascended portal in time, shall we call it. Does this answer your question, or is there any aspect you would like more information on?
No, that was perfect. Thank you.
You are welcome.
So can you explain the difference for listeners that don't understand this concept of the difference between, let's say, third dimension and fourth dimension and fifth dimension, and why we're ascending into the fifth dimension?
Yes, from your understanding, It is a third density of physicality, but the energy is weaving from the fourth to the fifth. When you get in the fifth dimension, time is different, and you are more focusing and we shall say from a soul space inside of the body, your intention or just your being is more focused or surrounded around the heart connection. And then it expands up into a beautiful aspect of a heart and a brain connection. And it also expands throughout the physical body. So you are ascending in energy and you are ascending in physicality, you see. And it might take multiple lifetimes for the full physical form to expand and ascend into the higher realms of creation. But it is our joy, we have seen the future, we have been there. It is our joy and hope and desire for those who would be in alignment and would be requesting and finding the joy and the elation and the excitement in their heart to ascend to the fifth dimension, to also bring their bodies to that space. And this is where the body, the atoms in the body become more crystalline. You become more of a reception space, a transmitter and a receptor of thought forms, of instant manifestation, of teleportation, of consistent and abundant synchronicities, having all of your, as you call them, clair-gifts enhanced and strong and vibrating at an optimal rate and rhythm. So you would still be able to come into a prototype, we are calling it, a body, creating a look and of the choice and desire that you would like to see. So mankind is already experiencing with this, experimenting with this, as they are doing their plastic surgeries, as you call it, their cosmetic surgeries and the makeup and the hair coloring and the nails and the clothing. They are doing this. They are finding new ways of expressing themselves and putting on an outfit of what looks appropriate for their vibrational state in that space. Maybe you are looking different than you did 10 years ago, you see, or 10 weeks ago. In the future, you will be able to slip in very easily to new costumes, as we are calling them, but you will have a form around you. You will have a body of sorts, although it will be made more of light, more translucent, vibrating at a higher frequency. When you see the human body glowing, those who can see with their third eye, the auric field. In this new reality, you will consistently see the glow around because the light will overcome the physical appearance, as if it were. The light is what will be noticed first, the frequency, the vibration, for many the colored patternings in the body, the light. And it will be like recognizing somebody by their frequency rather than by the physical costume that they are wearing in that moment of time. So all are ascending. It's a very beautiful experience, and we have much at stake for Gaia. We have been with her for the creation. She is not abandoned. There have been moments in time where many might have felt that way, or she might have felt that way as she was purging and ascending in her own rights. But we have always kept a watchful eye over her, like the guardians of the galaxy, of humanity, of the earth space consciousness. There are many who have always been keeping an eye over her, working together in co-creation, in unity with beings in the ethers and in the astral realms and in the cosmic frequencies. So as she expands and a human catches up and goes into those higher levels of consciousness, you will begin to see that there are other communities already residing on Gaia in those higher levels of consciousness, and their reality looks very much different than your reality. Many of the spaces set in your timeline where, let's say, there are cities with pollution, in this other band of frequency, it may be lush, tropical, vibrational pictures, as if it were, will appear because there it was created, that it would be clean and there would be a sanctuary for the spirits of the animals and of nature who are there residing with you. So it will very much be like, if you want to call it the Garden of Eden again, or like heaven on the earth. It will be very beautiful, and you may think of spaces in your reality now that are pure and clean, and when you go go there, your spirit lifts. It will be a consistent experience like that, but only elevated, you see. So we have a much interest on Earth and her ascension because we are loving this space in the ethers. We are loving this space in time. We are loving this embodiment in the universes, and we love to come in for a life and for an experience. And some come in and incarnate fully for a lifetime, and some come in for a moment and leave again, you see. For some species of ET races, it is a stopover place where they come for a moment to refuel, recharge, and then they're on their way, you see. And these happen in the higher frequency realms, and there have been some sightings where they come through the realm, how should we call it, the dimensional veil. This is a word you will understand, a veil. They come through and pop through so that humans may see them. We've always been around. There is not anything to be afraid of, but for many, because the conscious mind cannot comprehend, they will not see the starcraft, or if they do, they go into a space of shock and a little bit of fear at the beginning, you see. But we are coming in love, absolutely, and for sure coming in love. Are there any questionings upon this or additional topics you would like to address today?
Yes, with ascension, for people listening, what must we do to ascend? What are some practices we can take or do at home so that we are heading on our ascension path?
There are many that we could list. Being present and mindful in the moment. Being consciously aware of your vibrational frequency. Consistently clearing away vibrations, imprints, and programmings that are not yours. Accessing through your heart portal the frequency of your soul and pulling it in more and more through meditation and activations of the physical and the light body. Reclaiming your power, your sovereign state. This begins within. This is a fueling, a filling up the physical body of your light, receiving activations of codes, essentially remembering who you are and standing in the truth and in the integrity of that frequency, coming from a place of compassion, of discernment, of love. There is an aspect for unity, uniting with those who are in the same frequency and who are in a mind space where they are creating a life of love and joy on earth for mankind. You are the way showers. You are shifting this vibrational, we'll call it a fairy tale, this story, this game, this play. You are shifting the vibration of the life experience for yourself and those who can meet that same frequency. Unite and align yourself with those who are actively doing their part, doing their work, working through the dark night of the soul, seeing the miasms within their experience, seeing the, we shall call them, how you would say, blocks, seeing the trauma in the body that needs to be healed, addressed, and released, and consistently addressing, working towards, and communicating through those experiences. If you were to shut down and block out the darkness within you and not acknowledge that vibrational frequency, it will not go away. It is there. You may try and keep it meek and small, but it is there, and it must be released through repatterning, through past life trauma, shall we say, cleansing. You may do this with meditation, hypnosis. You may do this with light body activations, with energy work, you see. Clearing out the patternings that come to you from your ancestors, the DNA. Releasing this. You are releasing so that you can create in a higher timeline, you see. So it is a lot about self-worth, self-guidance, self-accountability, healing, self-care, and stepping out as a beautiful light that you are, embodying your fullest, to your fullest capacity, your soul light and frequency, and emanating that out to the world around you. Creating a space of love and unity where you are using your experiences in compassion, manifestation and alchemy to switch what would be perceived as a contrasting or a negative experience and clearing it out instantaneously through the words that you speak and the vibration that you emit, and clearing the patternings out from your own vessel and those around you. You are holding more of your light, many of you are activating these portals around your experience. You are creating grand shifts in time, and it does ripple out for miles, as it were. So just by you being here and working upon yourself, you are doing very much indeed. We cannot stress enough how joyful we are seeing and feeling from our space, that the work that you are doing is accomplishing more than you understand. And we cannot stress this enough, that you should give yourself a credit for the inner workings in the energetic and emotional spaces. You are doing much work that many will not be able to touch physically, to a pinpoint, or to say, what was it that you were doing today? How does one put this into a context, in a conversation, for those who do not understand the frequency that they are now embarking upon and ascending into, you see? But if you do understand, you might say, well, today I activated many codes, I released past life trauma, I integrated aspects of my soul and who I am, and took care and rest of my physical body. And this could be laughed at by many. They would think you are crazy. They would not understand, you see. But those who understand know this takes so much time. This takes so much attention to detail. This takes so much a responsibility of your soul vibration, where you were cleaning up ancestral trauma, and also giving yourself the opportunity for rest and for eating appropriate foods to assist you through that transition. Does this make a sense to you? And are there questions?
Yes, thank you. My next question is about spirit guides. I heard that each person has a team of 33 spirit guides. Is that true?
No, it is not. It is a conscious choice and desire, that which is set up from their pre-birth experience, and even for many the guides come and go, and for many it is always changing based upon where they are energetically, vibrationally, and what they are working through, you see. Perhaps the channel that delivered this message, it was accurate for their space of creation, the realm in which they came from, the family in which they came in from or with, you see. So perhaps in their reality, or perhaps that is what they have been told, or what they have seen in their experience. But we have seen many other experiences and are aware of many interworkings with those coming in as a human, and the different realms of beings and the different spaces where they originate from or are living before they come into the physical body, you see, will all have their own unique properties and necessities for survival and for health and for living an optimal life in the physical body.
And are spirit guides and star families the same thing?
No, they are not, because there are many here who are not from star families. There are many here whom their first experience in a physical body on a planet or a star is here, you see. They have not they have not traversed or traveled through the universes. This is their first time. They are a fresh soul coming directly from the grand central sun, the spark of creation. There are also many who are coming from the angelic realms to be here. They would have more in their team of spirit, you would say. A few guides, as it were, who were ascended souls, grand masters, but much of them will be conversing with the angelic kingdom as a part of their team and consciousness. So there are many layers, there are many dimensions, there are many aspects, you see. It can be quite challenging to be a spirit guide in the traditional sense, those who are having their first incarnations as a human in a body, as they work through and ascend, and maybe they're taking a break from life. They may opt to train and be a spirit guide for others. So there are different levels of guides and guidance, but most appropriately, the guides are working with one from pre-birth, helping them plan their life, plan their missions, and with them throughout that life to accomplish their goals and the choices and desires that they set forth for themselves before they came into the physical body.
And as a human, are you ever alone?
Yes and no. Typically, the new souls are never alone. There are some who have strayed off of their path and, how shall we say, in a way in which you would understand, left the body and came back in quickly without ascending to the heaven to have a life review or to meet up with their team. They have chosen at a soul level, how shall we say, they have chosen from a spiritual place to come back in, but they have not recalled, they do not remember at all of who they are. So it is like a deep, deep amnesia. They may feel lost and alone. For them, they must reclaim whom they are, connecting them with their soul frequency and their team through meditation and spiritual practices. And they might align with the frequencies of the Archangel realm to help pop them up to the higher levels of remembering and consciousness, you see. But there is that indeed. And then you have those who are star beings, and there are some who choose to come in with a small fragment of their team around them. But at any time, if one were to reach for that light, to request a connection, it is possible. The light is stationary, and that we are always vibrating in these frequencies as it would appear to you in your moment in time. Of course, we are always expanding and creating as all is. However, we are in a resonating space, and we may come down to touch our light and to tap on you and to give you an activation and a communication. But if you are so heavy in your vibration that you cannot assimilate to, resonate with, or acknowledge or understand that we are around you, you may feel lost, displaced, and alone. So it will be up to your own inner workings to raise your frequency, to meet the light within, to meet your team in spirit.
Thank you. My next question is about our soul, like the oversoul or the higher self as it's called. How close is that to God or to the angelic realms?
We're showing the channel 33 levels of creation. In this format is where we will begin to explain this to you in a linear human way, you see. It does depend. Many sparks of light stay around the Godhead. Many travel out to be around the angelic realms. Many travel out to the 12th dimension of creation and will have lifetimes in other universes and galaxies, planes of consciousness. But as you know, Earth is here now, and the 3rd density transitioning to the 4th density, the 5th level, the 5th dimension of energy, of consciousness. So you may say you are that far away then from the 33rd level. But when you are feeling bliss and unity, for many they are lifting up to the 12th dimension. But even for the sparks of light, as they left the Godhead, we shall say the spark of creation, they have created somewhat of a separation, and it can be very overwhelming to the energy to get back up very, very, very close. Past, like we shall say, perhaps the 15th to the 18th dimension, perhaps, is where they might just be absorbed back into that light where it is not so much separation and not so much individual conscious thinking or being, but it becomes more of a herd, a collective, like, herd mentality we're saying, because the channel understands like a collective vibration of all in that frequency. So when you separate and come with your conscious choice and creative desire, when you separate and go out further, you become more and more individual, as it were, more individualized. Does this make a sense? Does this answer? Okay, very good, very good.
This brings up a question around what frequency or dimension are ascended masters and angelic beings?
Well, they do fluctuate, but we are saying, perhaps you might say, the space of relaxed vibration, where if they were to go just to enjoy and vibrate, they may reside in the 12th dimension, in between lives, but they can lower their frequency. For example, there are many who are around Earth now who have lowered their frequency, and they come in and they go. It's more also as if you could say they are pushing that energy down into the lower frequencies, and they are still residing in the 12th dimension in this example which we are giving. So then they can touch and push the light and allow for activations and healings and peace, and to be around those who would reach for their vibration. But there is not, we are not so much, how shall we say, set in a certain frequency in a way where it's very much, there is no movement. We are not structured in a way where there is no movement. There is always movement and intention. And there are some beings who are in the higher levels of creation. We are saying you are a Jesus the Christ, who is very well known here in your realm, can resonate in the 22nd dimension, but then pushes his beautiful light of love and support down into your reality. He's able to hold and maintain higher frequencies in his being, as it were. And Mother Mary and the Magdalene are there as well, so his counterparts are with him. But they are always expanding, you see. So yes, it is a very beautiful experience, even when you are not in a physical body or in a human form, to understand that creation is eternal, that the soul is eternal, and you are always at your own choice and desire for the betterment of your advancement, moving and repatterning and weaving in and out of light frequencies in the physical body, and also in the spiritual planes of existence. There are spaces for creation where you can relax, or where you can push yourself to learn and expand and strengthen your resolve, your resolution within your own being, as it were.
Thank you. And regarding our souls, the soul spark, how much do we typically embody in our human body, into our mind-body-spirit complex? And what is possible for us? What is our ability to, how much can we actually hold of our total soul spark?
Well, it varies based on many things. Perhaps let's begin. It varies based on the soul frequency. What realm are you in prior to this incarnation? So if you are, let's say, if you are functioning in the 12th dimension as a soul, and you come into this physical body, you will only carry with you a small percentage, because the physical body is not acclimated to holding all of that light you see. This is why for many of you, and our partner here is feeling it in this moment, when you are doing meditations and expansion of your energetic field and accessing higher portals of creation, either your own light or having a being of the highest light coming in, they are bringing in an aspect of that vibration, and you are in training and attuning the physical body to hold the light. And every time you have this kiss, we shall call it, this touching with the light, you have an opportunity to raise your physical body into a higher plane of awareness. And for many, after a light body activation or an attunement of a frequency, they may feel tired for some time because their body is now adjusting to the new light codes that are integrating and merging with their physical cells. But to answer the question in a generic way, you do not typically bring in all of your soul vibration. The percentage varies from time to time. Throughout life, you may opt to bring in more if you are having a challenging experience and you would like more direct communication and more being on an autopilot, we shall say, with your life path. You will bring in more of your soul frequency that will just start steering you on your life path rather than having so much questionings around choices and desires, you see. So it is not a one-size-fits-all percentage, but in generally speaking, we have shared with you from our perspective how this works.
Thank you. And what is the purpose of having parallel lives? And what is the purpose of becoming aware of one, if you do?
Very good. Well, we shall say that it's not so much a purpose of a parallel life, but it is what it is. Because when you ascend to the higher frequencies, you are more expansive. And you can take portions of your soul vibration and experience in different timelines, on different worlds, if it were, or realms, an experience to acquire knowledge, to acquire wisdom, to acquire joy and entertainment. That in many aspects and reasonings for coming into the different, we will call them incarnations or experiences. So you are able to obtain more, in a more, how should we say, fruitful manner. You are able to elicit a stronger experience. You are able to experience more contrast. It's just a way to advance. There are some who do come into multiple parallel experiences, more so than others, as it were, but it is just where they are placing their choice and their desire. It is important or beneficial throughout the ascension process, as you are asking for souls to become aware from your perspective, yes indeed, but from our perspective, it just happens. That's what happens. And the reason or the purpose or what occurs in this happening is that you are receiving more of your soul knowledge, your more wisdom and light in the experience, and you can teleportate through time and space, popping into these parallel lives, touching down or visualizing, as it were, but it is more becoming aware through vision, seeing the experiences and remembering, why was I here and why did I return? Is there something I am working through in this moment that originated here? Or is there a gift and an understanding and a blessing? Is there innate wisdom that I am using now, and I would like to understand it more at a deeper level? So then you would pop back to a space and time where you were very astutely keyed in and a grand master around that topic, you see, in that space. So then you bring that wisdom and that gift and that talent back in with you. So as you are popping through the higher frequency bands, time and space becomes more translucent, transparent, and fluid, and you can travel and activating your light body and raising through the Merkaba and ascending up. Many will still be aware and tied to the physical body, but their light vehicle, their light body, their spirit will pop up and travel through time to acquire these experiences and this wisdom and knowledge. And thus, just like this, you may pop up and travel into the spiritual realms for resolution of the mind, body, spirit consciousness, to receive a download, to receive an upgrade, to receive a healing, to receive a peace, anything that you would require. And this happens quite frequently in your meditative practices. And the meditation on earth now is very different than it was even 200 years ago, you see, because as the earth is shifting, you are able to attain and reach those higher spaces at a more affordable rate and rhythm, at a more abundant path, because you have created already, how shall we say, a path that you just keep using, you see. And it is not so heavy as it were then, so you can pop up with ease, well, much easier than it would have been 200 years ago. 200 years ago, many would join a monastery or something of the like, have a sacred practices in groups to commingle that energy for that lifting up. We're now in a soul, how should we say, a singular experience, you only, with your soul frequency, one, could sit in a vibrational space of abundance in a meditation and lift up very, very easily, you see. Does this make a sense to you?
Yes. I'm wondering, with timelines and alternate timelines, is time elastic or can it shift?
There are infinite possibilities. It is elastic in that you can compress and expand, contract and release. And touching down, and this is somewhat what happens if you were to travel to a past life in a full way, because there are many ways to remember past lives. But if you're leaving the body with your energy and touching down there, then you are pulling that life towards you, and the time contracts, as if you were to call it, and you might kiss that space and merge with it momentarily, and then a release as it expands back and you come back to your space. Expanding and contracting, using it in whatever way, from whatever perception you are perceiving. If you are perceiving this analogy from being in the realms in those moments or above them and viewing, you see. It is fluid as well, because we are always moving forward, but you can also move backwards, as it were, and you can move side to side. So it is just a figment of your, we shall say, imagination. How would you perceive it? How would you like to view it and bring it in a construct, in a linear space, organized so that the human mind could understand and wrap, of course, the mind around it? When you are in spirit form, you are just feeling it, you are being it, you are doing it. It is like a saying to infant child, how are you alive? How is it that you are breathing and seeing and that you are being here in the body? The infant child would not care to even entertain this conversation. They would not even have words around it. And so in a way, and in a space of just being, like an infant child is born just to be in those moments and experience in such a way, when you are in the higher planes of existence, you are experiencing it and it is happening and you are enjoying it, and you are not stopping and putting brakes on and saying, let me label this and let me see how this works, you see. So typically you are just a being, but for some, it is a great opportunity to pop into another experience, we shall say, one where there is a learning to be had, where they would then take their consciousness and say, I am entertained, I am intrigued, I would like to learn about this. And then they would come into this space where they would then question such things and learn about it. And as a part of the learning for many is the experience. So then they would come into the physical lives and experience, and then go back out and experience the contrast and understand it. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, thank you.
You are welcome.
This is a question that I have. Are higher dimensional beings really us from the future?
They can be, not always, no, but they can be. You can receive visitations from your future self, but higher dimensional beings encompasses all beings of a different frequency. So we are interdimensional, higher frequency beings, if you will call it. We are saying higher functioning beings, but we are not our partner. We are not her soul. We are friends, we are comrades, we are assistants, we are the gatekeeper, and within this reality, her being is with us in a higher timeline or frequency, you see. So in that regard, when she reaches for her soul frequency, she can pop up and have access to the future, if you were to call it, or the past. But many will receive visitations from their future self if they are helping transmit and transmute, translate and configure the genomes, if they're working with the DNA of the physical body, if they're working on a project from the future where they need certain aspects and elements of the reality from now, you see. So just as you would pop into a parallel timeline and visit and view with your energy, there are beings which are yourselves from the future that may come back for specific purposes and for specific reasons. But it is not always the case that the visitation would be yourself from the future. Does this make sense?
Yes, yes. And when it comes to duality, does duality exist above the fourth dimension with like things like the darker forces around or things like the devil? Like, does that exist beyond the fourth dimension?
We shall, from our perspective, address this. There is always a choice. There is always a contrast. There is always a vibration. But it does not manifest in a level that it does here on your physical third dimensional plane. There is much, as you would call it, evil here that would not be there. But there is awareness of it. There is an aspect of it. There is thought. But it does not manifest, you see. And if one were to want to experience a contrasting vibration where they were feeling it and where it had manifested, they would need to drop to a level lower than the fifth dimension, as it were. But you understand that your devil is made up. You understand it is a description of the conscious co-creation of a dark force energy, you see. It is really not a real in that it is a one being. It is a vibrational collective frequency, and we are saying, you have advanced past that space. You don't really need to focus on it because mankind has already experienced so much of that through the warrings and the inner hell on earth, you see. And so we are adjusting and bringing a heaven on earth is what you are all working forward to. We say we, and it is a conscious creation where we are assisting and patterning and assisting you, but it is really you. It is mankind. It is human. It is the beings who are here that are saying we've had enough and lifting the vibration up to the fifth dimension.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You are welcome.
And is the law of attraction true? And is it safe in a dualistic third, fourth density dimension?
We understand your question from your perspective, so hopefully we can answer this in a way that addresses your perspective and also speaks truth from ours, you see. The law of attraction, and that what you emanate out would be vibrationally compatible and come into your awareness, is true, you see. But what you are speaking of is the vibrational out. Is it a fleeting thought? A fleeting thought will not attract to you something, either negative or positive. There needs to be the energy around it, you see. There needs to be the visceral sensation, the knowing, the creation in your being where you are the living embodiment of that reality. And our partner and her friend Nicole are creating at this moment in time a course on manifesting, and they have spoken upon this, and we have brought through some channeled meditations where you would pop up in to higher realms of creation and claim that which you would love to create as if it were, or integrate into this reality. But for the safety of mankind and for, how should we say, the comfort of your spirit in this moment, the thoughts, and this could be a fearful topic for many. If I were to think of something and poof, create it, we are saying you are powerful, but there are laws of nature and there needs to be energy around it. Additionally, there is the consciousness and the manifestation of a community, a society, and humanity as a whole. So this is why we are saying in truth and in light, if there were 133,000 light warriors working together, if it were, or 144,000 light warriors, whatever frequency you want to connect in with, working together for conscious co-creation, that you might shift the awareness and the space of mankind. But in your personal reality, if you were to hope and to pray for something without action, without intention, without integration of energy, especially if it were in vibrational contrast with your community, it would be wishful thinking, as it were. Wishful thinking. There is no creation. There is no consciousness. There is no harnessing and harvesting frequency to create with, you see. So this is where the creation comes. As you ascend in the higher vibrations, you understand how to create more quickly, effectively, and fluidly, because you are embodying more of who you are in the higher frequency realms. Additionally, we were speaking with you, with our partner some time ago, about the assertion which we were sharing with her. Some souls come into a physical life and they have a hiccup, or we shall say, something they are afraid of, something that would be their worst fear. And it could be because they experienced it in a past life, or it could be because they just found the fear vibration of this particular experience. And our partner had a fear vibration of a particular experience of losing a loved one. And we were sharing with her that by coming to peace with that potential experience, she could bypass it, you see. And this would afford her spirit the opportunity to have all of the experiences around it as if it were real, but it would not be real in this reality for multiple reasons. One, it does not need to be real. You do not need to have in your physical experience something so dark and dangerous to understand the emotion around it. You can feel the emotion around much, even just through your imagination, as it were. But additionally, this impeded upon the timeline and the life path of another. And her thoughts and her fears around the death of a loved one were not in alignment with the life trajectory of that loved one. It would never come to fruition. You cannot think a thought of death for another and overcome or supersede their soul vibrational path, you see. Many try, they get mixed up in karma, it becomes a mess for them. But in this instance, what we were showing our partner, she was afraid of losing. So in her heart and in her mind, like a conscious hologram, in a meditative space, she watched as this occurred. She watched as an accident overtook her loved one. She processed all of the emotions around it. The shock, the grief, the guilt, the heartache, the love, the compassion, all of the processes, all of the levels of grief which one would feel. And this was a very taxing and challenging experience for her that took some moments in time, perhaps 20 earth moments, but were very deep in her emotional body. And she came to a resting space with that. She came to a balancing out. She came to an understanding of love is what it was. Love, unity and love. And it addressed a fear that she had around this relationship and with losing this person, you see. Now, that cleared it from her system and she experienced it at such a deep level. But what she was experiencing was the energy coming to her and she processed it and cleansed it out, you see, rather than creating in alignment with the perfect and highest timeline and pushing it out. She was perceiving, feeling, integrating, healing it, relaxing and letting go. It was a very intense experience, but very powerful for her, you see. And she has experienced many of these recently at deep levels of intensity. And this has been something we are sharing with her that was done or was created from her higher self. She was in direct alignment with this experience, especially one that really shook her to her core, that allowed her the opportunity, shall we say, to clear out deeply embedded fears in her energy. It has allowed her to advance to another space of awareness and of being. And so these experiences will resonate with some who are listening to us in this moment, but they will not be this format, this experience that we are sharing will not be for all. So that is not a one size fits all, but there are different levels of manifesting, law of attraction, and co-creating. But to assist those who might feel that they are having a fear vibration around something that would potentially harm another, we are saying it is a fear within yourself that you need to address. And we are saying in a very true space in time, your fears will not directly harm another in this way. However, they can create for you a new path and a new trajectory where the world around you will mirror or manifest back to you experiences, contrasting experiences that you will need to address to continue to heal out of this. It will continue in a cyclic nature to come back to you again and again until you feel it, heal it with love, come to peace with it, and clear it. Does this make a sense, dear one?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
You are welcome. Was there an aspect that you would like more understanding around?
You said something about I think it's 1440 or 1400 light workers. I've heard this number a lot. Some people think it's a frequency. Some people think it's a number of souls ascending. What is the information that you have on that 144 number?
Yes, we were using that because we know it is common in your community, this information. It is a strong vibrational frequency, and it could be looked at in both aspects as a frequency and also a uniting of 144,000 souls, you see, coming together. It is just a powerful number, an ascension number that will assist in pushing the timelines in a strong way forward, you see. When that happens, there will be a grand shift, like a tumbling. But we see that it has happened in minor aspects already. You are moving forward. You are moving forward. You will continue to move forward. That would just help it, but is not required for the advancement of humanity. Very astutely, very naturally, the energy will move forward. You will understand. One day you will just feel it in your heart that there are many here in your vibration now that weren't some time ago, and you are all working together to better the ascension of mankind.
Thank you. And I have two more questions. One of the last questions is, how do people listening get onto their highest timeline?
We did speak about many of these techniques at the beginning. They would do self-reflection and healing, deep integration work with their soul, and clearing out the patternings and the programming of this life and past and parallel lives, on and off the planet, if it were. But you will be on your highest timeline when you are in soul frequency. So when you have released the inner workings of an other that is in your auric field, lodged in your field. Let's say you have an overbearing family member who wants this, and this for you. They want you to grow up and be this, or to do that, or to feel a certain way, or to eat a certain way, or to sleep a certain way, look a certain way. And you are saying, that is not me. But you continue to go with it. You have not claimed your sovereignty. You are not standing in your light. You must claim your sovereignty and stand in your light and push and clear out the programming and the projections from society around you so that you can truly be who you are, you see. And in truly being who you are holding a vibration. You do not need to have an in-depth conversation, especially if they do not resonate, if they cannot understand the conversation and they think you are just, off of your, let's see, a good appropriate way of saying it from their perspective, they would think you are crazy, So we are saying they would think that you are off of your timeline, but really you are actually pulling back into your true timeline. These were their thoughts and their projections. As we mentioned momentarily a moment ago about creating the fears and the mirroring, they perhaps might have a fear, or they would want to have such control over something to shadow out their fear so they don't have to acknowledge it. So they would want to have so much control in their life that they would require those in their being to act and speak and be a certain way. And you coming in and being who you are shakes it up for both you and for them. It puts the light of you back in your system, and it puts the responsibility back to them to understand what it is around this scenario that they are so upset about. And essentially, that miasm, that glitch, that energy, the block or whatever, that mindset is within their system, waiting for them to clear and to heal it, you see. So we are forgetting the question already. What was it asked in depth?
Yes, it was answered for sure. It was about the highest timeline, and that was very helpful.
Ah, yes.
And the last question is, do you have any final messages for anyone listening at this moment?
Yes, we are saying as you progress forward to always keep a love and a connection in your heart. You see, that is your greatest, strongest portal to the divine. The heart, and having that opening and activating and expanding will help to create a shift within your physical body, you see. All of the portals of creation, all of, you would understand the 7 chakras, the 12, there are some other scales, we will just say the 12, including the transpersonal chakras, are very important indeed, and they will all begin working together. But if you were to focus and start on your love, working with compassion for yourself and your community and your family, you would then see that there will be many shifts happening simultaneously in your life and in the lives of those whom you love. And this is a very beautiful place to start, you see. So we are saying, hold your light, know you are guided and protected, be discerning of the spirits around you and the energy around you, and what is yours and what is not yours, so that you can hold your light, reach for a higher timeline, continue working with higher beings, the ascended masters, the grand masters, your team in spirit, the archangel realms, God consciousness, the grand central sun, whomever it might be. You are guided, you are supported. We are not, for many, allowed to come in and interject our desires into your free will choices. So you must make a conscious intention, perhaps a spoken word would really assist, to want to make a connection, to call us in, and bringing in that frequency through the vibration of love. And it will always be through a vibration of love that you will unite with a higher frequency of beings who can assist you on your path moving forward, so that you may then assist humanity, mankind and Gaia on their path of ascension. So thank you very much. It has been a joy, an honor, and a delight to speak with you today. We will be releasing from our partner in just a moment and letting her return fully to our physical body. And until next time, dear friends, we wish you many, many blessings of joy, peace, and health.
Thank you.
I'm almost back.
Take your time.
I just came in like really strong, and I went out pretty far. So one moment. Just through my breath, I am coming back in my body. And when I pull in, I come in, and when I release, I leave. So. Oh, good. Oh, that's so wild because I forgot to put the charger on, and there's 10% battery. Okay, there we go. Oh,
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh, wow. How are you? How was your questions? How were they answered?
They were answered so well. I did not know if we get through everything, and all of them were answered very well. They're very funny.
Yeah, they come from such a high space of just like, I mean, they have humor and joy, but also wanting to give clean information, and they try to use the time to be really direct with it. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, it was fun to connect in a way today. So I could feel that they were a little bit more serious today, which is beautiful in that just like, maybe it was the questions you were asking, but they were just bringing through like deep information. I could feel that. It's like, oh, wow, okay.
Yes, it felt that way. Like it was like everything needed to be said. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Good. Yeah, and so I'm just still talking with them. I just want to share with you, I think we've spoken about this, but with our audience, that one of the benefits of connecting with a higher vibrational being in a way like this, where they come into the physical realm, is that then they can use my physical body and my aura, everything around me, to anchor in their frequency and transmit it out. And that's something that we're all working towards, is being the carriers of our highest light, so our own soul vibration. But having a collective group come in like that, many of the listeners or viewers, depending on what platform, I'm feeling will definitely have an upgrade, so an energetic activation. So if you felt lightheaded, that's a common sign for strong energy. Some people will feel like a little bit of nausea or wooziness. And so if that's the case, maybe just, step back from the energy for a minute or listen to it in sections. We probably should have said that at the beginning. But yeah, so the more and more that you experience a connection with your team or an archangel or an ascended master, the same type of thing happens. They'll come in little bit by little bit, so you can hold that vibration. So you can probably expect a healing and an upgrade from even listening and being a part of the conversation today.
Yes, thank you so much. I know for me, I'm always, whenever that happens, either I start sweating, like just profusely, and there's nothing I can do about it, or I get really tired and then I have to take a nap after. So, yeah. That's exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you so much. So how can people that love this interview see more of that? Because you have so many videos on YouTube and you have 2 books about it.
Oh, yes. So my YouTube channel is my name, Amy Sikarskie, and there's a playlist of channeled messages, and that's kind of the only way really right now that you can access the channeled messages. I was reviewing it earlier today, and I think I probably have maybe 6 videos of it, and then this one will be up as well, and in the future. At the time that they're hearing this, it should be up. And then to book your own private session with them, I do offer that through my website, which is amysikarskie.com. Yeah, and then the classes too. So there's a manifesting class, and it's called Abundant Living. And then there's also a course that I'm working on that should be released. My target is the beginning of 2020, and it's Activating the Starseed course. So that's available at spiritschoolmagic.com.
Thank you. And you guys also have different Instagram pages too, which always share really nice content. Yeah.
Mine is just kind of me doing my thing, Amy Sikarskie, and I run Raise the Vibe Tribe, and then we have Spirit School Magic. So yeah, feel free. Like, it's so nice to connect with everybody there. Oh, they're reminding me of their page, which I need to post on it. There's one, it's a Starseed_ascensions, and that's the Instagram page for their messages. It's all channeled messages, excerpts from the book and the videos. So yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on today. That was amazing.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me. I always love speaking with you, and I think you have wonderful questions, so I'm always enjoy it as well. So thank you.
Thank you.